Hello, welcome back. This is Miniature Mike, and I'm going to continue my tier list video today. We're going to do a tier list for the sculpts for the Alliance and Empire characters. So first, I just want to give a quick little apology. Been like, I don't know, a week and a half since I've uploaded or something like that. I was dealing with kind of a, just, under the weather, kind of a brutal sore throat, but luckily it's passed and doing good now. So I wasn't really feeling up to recording stuff in the meantime, but I want to get something out for you guys this time so you can enjoy, and I'm going to do Alliance and Empire tier list. So let's kind of jump right on into this. I haven't thought about it a whole lot, but I'm pretty familiar with most of these sculpts, and I can give my general thought on them. So first things first, we got the Snow Trooper sculpt. I think it's a fine sculpt. I might put it up there. I think the detail is pretty solid. I think it looks pretty good overall, holding a gun. Like the way he's holding the gun is sort of interesting, marching forward, but I think it's just it's fine. It's a solid as B tier, maybe even C tier. I'm not sure. I'll say B tier. This Lando Dashing Scoundrel, I'm going to put it also in B tier. Maybe I'll bump it up later. I kind of like it. I just kind of like how it's, Dashing Scoundrel. It looks like he's literally dashing, so I've actually thought this is a pretty solid sculpt overall. Human Force Adept, I think I rather like this sculpt. I like the bright colors. I think it looks cool. The way she has her hand up to use the force or something like that. I think it's a pretty solid sculpt overall. I like it. The Nikto, I'm not a fan of this one. I don't think it's like the worst of the worst. I'm only going to say like D tier things I really don't like. So I'm going to put it down in C tier. Not a fan of it. The Yusan Vong, Advanced Scout. I think it's fine. Solid sculpt overall. Good detail, of course. But the actual pose is not really doing it for me, personally. Alright, next we got Wicket. What do I think about Wicket here? Looks really good for a mini character. Holding the spear above his head, a club in the other hand, walking forward. I'm going to say A tier. I think this is a really nice sculpt overall. I'm a big fan of it. I don't know about S tier. We'll see how this all shakes out. Next, we have the Advanced Scout. I like the Advanced Scout. I think this thing looks awesome. I don't know why. I just kind of like the crab-like ways moving forward. Amazing detail on his armor. I think this thing looks really, really sweet. Probably one of the better looking Yusan Vong, at least for me. Definitely cool. This guy, Tusken Raider, not really my favorite sculpt. It's kind of boring to me, just kind of holding the thing, just kind of holding his gaffy stick. For some reason, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the Tusken Raider sculpts in general, but not all. Like, some of them are actually alright, and we'll get to them later on. Yamen Car, not bad. I'll put it in B tier. I don't like the Yamen Car as much as the top one. It is cool that he has the yellow armor, not the yellow, the red armor. But I don't know, for some reason my eyes when I see the whatever he has on his arm, like that, I don't know, snake creature or whatever, I've always thought it looked like a yo-yo to me. I know it's not, but it's an okay sculpt. I definitely like these ones more. I'm gonna put this one low B tier. Yeah, I think that one's okay for me. I'm going to have to put this guy in S tier just for so many reasons. The Storm Commando is great, looks great. I like how he has two different guns. Like how he's just kind of like in a crouch position. Awesome black armor, green visor. This thing is just so cool, so gotta put it there. Let's see here. We got the Mon Calamari Tech Specialist. That's another C tier for me. I'm not a fan of this thing. I might even bump it down to D tier. It just, I don't know, it's just kind of, like, sure, the detail might look good for the alien, but I just don't like how just boring of a pose it is, just kind of standing there, so not working for me. This trooper, though, the Scout Trooper, I really actually kind of like this Scout Trooper pose. I might bump it up to A tier. The reason I like it is normally I don't like guns just kind of straightforward, but his arms are bent just a little bit, so looks like a pose that's a little bit more, I don't know, believable, more interesting. Maybe not A tier, but I do like it. I think it's alright. Obi-Wan, Force Spirit, so one of the first Force Spirit ones. So naturally, just kind of chilling. I do like that they were able to use kind of like a translucent color for these guys, so I do really like that very much. I think I'll put it in A tier, maybe not A tier, I don't know. When I judge sculpts, I really like interesting poses, good detail, and then also one thing I've been thinking about more lately is like how faithful is it to what it's trying to be, and I think it does a pretty good job of that. But it's not like it's like my favorite sculpt ever. I'll maybe do low A tier, maybe bump it down to B tier. We'll see. Okay, good old Han Solo Smuggler. I hate this sculpt so much. It's not for me. To me, it's like He's doing like some epic squats, like perfect 90-degree angles with his legs right there. I've just never been a fan of this sculpt. It looks corny, not my thing. So I'm gonna have to put that one down in D tier. One of my least favorite sculpts, honestly, in the game. Let's see here, Gamorrean Guard. I think this is a solid sculpt. Put it in V tier. I think it looks pretty nice. I like the axe kind of up high. I'll put it up here, kind of in the middle. Not bad, not bad at all. Ithorian Scout. I do like this one again. I don't know if I'm gonna do A tier. It looks good. It's a nice mini, really, really nice mini. But sculpt-wise, I think it's solid. A solid sculpt. They do a good job depicting the Ithorian, but for me, it's not like an S tier or A tier. Let's see, Ewok Warrior. I think this is. He's holding the bow. I don't know. It's fine for a mini. I'll just put it down on top of C tier. I don't know. It's like whatever. I don't like it that much. Rampaging Wampa. I think I'll put this maybe a high A tier. I think this thing looks amazing. It's just coming out to get you. I kind of like the original Wampa sculpt more, I think. So I'm going to put it down here, but I think this looks pretty good. Pretty dang good sculpt. Okay, let's see here. Han Solo on Tauntaun. Pretty good looking one as well. It's a really, it's a pretty good sized sculpt for being a large. Let's see. I think it looks nice. Pretty faithful to what it is. I'm going to probably say high B tier. Really solid, but not necessarily my favorite looking sculpt of all time. The Jawa, I mean, I don't know. It's fine. It's not that kind of boring Jawa look, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this sculpt. Let's see. I'm gonna put Margit. I'm gonna put her in S tier. I think this sculpt is one of like a great looking Jedi sculpt. Just a really nice pose. Just kind of like crouch position, reversed hand with the lightsaber, looking back, like a really just dynamic pose. Good detail. I'm a big fan of this, and the miniature is awesome as well. So gotta put this in S tier. Personally, I'm a big fan of it. So, okay. Let's see here. Boba Fett, Enforcer. I'm gonna put this one in A tier, kind of down in this area. I do like it. I like the other Boba Fett a little bit more. It is cool that he's launching a rocket, and that is happening like mid-launch, so that is awesome. But it's kind of a crouch position. You can't see him quite as well, but it's still really cool. Like, what are they trying to capture? Done well. I'm a fan of it. I'm going to probably just stick them. I'm going to put these ones much lower. Yeah, I'll do something like that. Good-looking one. Let's see. The Rodian Scoundrel, I think. I don't remember. Let's see here. A pretty solid sculpt. I think it actually looks really, really good for Alliance and Empire. I like that he's moving forward. I think he has two guns, one on the left and then one facing forward on the right hand. I'm going to probably put this up here kind of high on B tier. I do like it. Trando's a Mercenary. Even though it's not like the most dynamic sculpt, it's a dude holding a gun, I've always actually thought that this thing looked pretty nice. I do like the way it looks. I don't know if it's enough for A tier or something like that, but he's just kind of chilling. Great detail on him. Looks cool. I like the giant gun he's holding. Looks solid. Let's see here. Jabba the Hutt from this one. I'm not a big fan of this guy. I'm going to put him down in C tier. He's alright. I mean, maybe low B tier. I don't think he's that bad, but I think the Jabba the Hutt in Rebel Storm looks better, personally. There's more things going on with him. He has Salacious Crumb, I think. This one is just raw Jabba. The detail's fine on him. It looks okay, but I don't think it's a bad looking one. But definitely not my favorite. So I'm able to say high C tier. Let's see, Duros Scout, or I don't think it's the Scout. No, it's not the Scoundrel. Duros Spy or Scout. I don't know. It's hard to keep track of all 1,000 miniatures. So we'll see. Overall, I think it's fine. I don't know. Put a C tier. Not really wowing me too much. This one's really nice. I'm gonna put this up in A tier. I've always loved this the Wookiee. I think it's not the Wookiee Warrior. The Wookiee Warrior is the grenades from the Force Unleashed. I think it's the Wookiee Freedom Fighter. Yeah, the Wookiee Freedom Fighter. I think this thing's awesome. Just like a rampaging, vicious looking Wookiee. Great detail. Just kind of like a rough miniature to feel, like good texture. And I've just been a big fan of just kind of the pose as well. Looks great. Big fan of it. Definitely reminds me of Chewbacca Enraged Wookiee a bit. Chad, you're a fan. Pickpocket. Nice little mini. Just kind of, again, I'm going to put it down here. It's not a sculpt that I really love particularly. I think it's okay. It looks good. Decent, I guess. But not one that just jumps out. So I'm going to put that in C tier. I'll put this guy up in B tier. I think it's cool what they're going for. Like, you know, it's got kind of the glider wings, has a rock he's going to drop. So it looks kind of fun. It's a little bit of a wacky thing. I'll put it in A tier because I think it's really cool what they're going for. But it's a, you know, like I said, kind of like a interesting, unusual looking mini, but definitely kind of fun. So let's see, Moff Tarkin. Let's see, what do I want to put Governor Tarkin? I think it looks good for a Tarkin. I might put it in C tier. Well, actually, the sculpt looks all right. Like, they do a good job of capturing what he looks like, kind of the poses he makes, because he holds his chin a lot in the movies, if you take a look at that. I think it's a solid B tier. Yeah, I think it captures Moff Tarkin pretty well. Let's see, the Imperial officer. I think this is the Star Destroyer officer. No, it's not. This is just the regular Imperial officer, I think, but reskinned for Alliance and Empire. Let's see, so this one, I'm going to put this guy. I am not a big fan of this sculpt. I do like the black look. It's not bad, so I'm going to stick him. I'll just put him down in C tier, like high C tier, so it's not the worst. Let's see, next one is the Tal's Spy. I think I rather kind of like this one all right. And up front, as you can probably see, I'm actually not a crazy big fan of a lot of the sculpts in Alliance and Empire. I don't know what it is about it, but they just seem kind of blocky to me sometimes. I don't know if it's the square base throwing my brain off, who knows, but there are definitely other sets where I think I like their sculpts from top to bottom a little bit more. So those are kind of my feelings. So Tal's Spy, though, I think it's a solid B tier sculpt. Looks fine. I'm going to do a low B tier, though, just because the actual stance isn't really doing it for me too much, but I love the detail on the creature. It looks really nice. Next we got the, let's see here. Oh my gosh. It's been a long work week, and I don't even remember any of these things. Snivian Fringer, I think? Something like that. You're going to have to forgive me. This thing looks fine. I'm going to say high B, like, low. I actually kind of like this. Good detail on the face. Gun out. I'm going to just definitely put in, like, a solid B tier. I've even though it's so small, I'm actually been rather fond of this particular sculpt. Mon. I'm going to put this guy in A tier. I think his detail looks awesome. He looks like a crazy wackadoodle alien. Definitely love the way he looks. Sometimes he looks like a giant boulder too. Not like a S tier to me, but definitely looks good. So I'll put him up in E tier. I like him. Let's see here. Next we got the Stormtrooper on Repulsor Sled. I rather like the sculpt a lot too. I don't know if I'm quite bullish enough to say A tier or say S tier on this thing, but I think it's cool. Great looking vehicle. Really interesting, clever looking. I've always thought that he was driving backwards, but these are guns, clearly. So it's kind of interesting looking. I like it. I think it looks cool. I'm rather fond of vehicles, to be honest with you, so I'll put it up there in A tier. Let's see here. Let's shoot at the ground. So personally, I've never been a huge fan of the Rebel Trooper look. I don't know, maybe it's just some of that 70s cheesiness, corniness, but it's not bad. I'm just not a big fan of it. And this one right here, I'm not a very big fan of because he's got the gun extended, he's ready to shoot, and he's looking straight at the ground. And just like, I don't know. Not my cup of tea. Not a fan of this guy, so I'll put him down in D tier. Rather silly looking sculpt to me. Let's see here. We got next we got Stormtrooper Officer. I think this one's kind of cool. I might like the other one a little bit more, but this one's not bad. He's pointing forward. He's got his gun up, maybe issuing command or something like that. I'll put it in low B tier. I think it's a solid looking sculpt, but not like the craziest one ever. Next, we got the Heavy Stormtrooper. Really, it's almost like a kind of a merger of the original. Kind of looks like a Shock Trooper, kind of actually from later sets. This one's fine. Just a big gun. Kind of reminds me of like that Sand Trooper look, of course, with the backpack, but not my favorite looking sculpt. Like I said, there's just something about this set where characters feel and look blocky. I don't know what it is. It's very interesting. I'm curious what molds they used when they made these characters, but I'm gonna put high C tier. Not my favorite looking Stormtrooper, but it's fine. I do like the big rock. It looks kind of like the Shock Trooper, but I think the Shock Trooper is a little bit more crisp. Let's see, Twi'lek, Spy, or Rebel Agent, or Scoundrel, one of those three. What do I feel about this guy's? I do like kind of the spy aspect. He's kind of stealthing around there. I'll put him in B tier. Definitely looks nice. Princess Leia, C tier, not my favorite looking one. I think this is one of the Princess Leia looks from Cloud City. I'm pretty sure this is Princess Leia. No, it's not Princess Leia of Cloud City specifically. But it looks okay. Just kind of walking forward with the gun. Not my favorite Princess Leia either. It's just kind of rather bland looking. The speeder, though, I do think this looks rather nice. Again, kind of a vehicle. Great detail on him. Good detail on the characters inside of it, too. So I'm rather a fan of this particular sculpt. I like it. It looks really cool, especially for capturing Luke's land speeder along with Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker. Okay, this one is very similar to former Hoth troopers. Not a big fan of this particular Hoth trooper look for some reason. I'm not sure what it is. Again, it's just not my favorite pose. I'm going to put it down here in low C tier. There are some Hoth trooper poses that I do think are kind of fine, solid. But this one in particular has always been my least favorite. Whenever I play, I always avoid using these specific Hoth troopers. I'm not sure why. It's just not a sculpt that really wows me too much. I like it's neat, it's decent detail, but I think I like the action attacking pose more for these types of guys. So let's see, Jawa on the Ronto. I recently got this not too long ago, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to look at it in person. I think this thing looks actually pretty crazy. I'm going to put this up in S tier. I think... Where did I drop that thing? Oh, shoot. I drop it somewhere and I can't even find it. There we go. I'm going to put this in S tier. I think this thing looks crazy good. It looks so cool. Huge creature, or large creature, but like it's barely fits up. It's, you know, that base barely works for how big it is. Awesome detail on him. I'm a big fan of the way they captured this creature with the Jawa on it. It looks so cool. There's a reason this is a very rare character, and it definitely shows up in the sculpt. Darth Vader Imperial Commander. Do I like this one? So you got the cape coming out. You've got like cape flaring out. You got the lightsaber behind the head. I think it's a rather good-looking Vader. Not an S-tier look, but I'm going to put him over here in A-tier for sure. I think he's a good-looking mini, absolutely. But not an S-tier for this particular set, especially. Let's see here. Next one is Luke Skywalker, Hero of Yavin. I've had a hard time with this mini. I think he looks kind of odd, just the way he's... I think sometimes... I have a hard time with minis sculpts where the character looks a little too contorted. And to me, I've always thought that this guy looked a little bit too contorted. He's just really bending over to the bending over to the left. It just, to me, looks a little weird. Maybe you could argue he's like shooting around a corner or something like that. I could see it, but yikes! I personally, it's an awesome mini. In the game, you can do crazy things with this character, but I don't think it's bad enough to be D tier. He has some decently redeeming qualities about it. Like, it's all right to me, but it's just a weird contorted pose that I don't really like too much. So for that, I'm going to put him bottom of C tier. Next we have Biggs Darklighter. I'm going to put this guy up in B tier, like high B tier. I think this guy looks kind of fun. He's got the cape coming out, kind of the arm is kind of shaping the cape, and then he's about to pull a draw out and shoot. For not quite on the A tier level for me, but I could see, if you want to bump it up there, I could see it. I think it's pretty cool overall. Let's see, Aura Singh, she's going to go straight to the top of A tier. Not quite S tier, but I think she looks really good. Like, she's kind of, almost kind of like slowly moving forward. The right arm is a little bit of odd, almost a little bit of a weird shape to me though. It's not too contorted, but it looks fine. I like the lightsaber arm, just kind of like coming back, getting ready for a huge swing. Definitely a really good looking detail, good looking mini in my opinion. I've always liked it. Really solid. So I'll put it in A tier for sure. Han Solo in Stormtrooper armor looks pretty good. You know, just classic Stormtrooper look with Han's head kind of slapped on top. Super fun mini. Again, I'm gonna put this mini kind of somewhere in. Do I want to say A tier? Nah, I'm just gonna put it in B tier. I think it's a solid looking sculpt. All right, not my favorite, but definitely solid. Definitely a solid, good looking sculpt. Next we have Quinlan Voss. Man, I have a hard time with this particular sculpt. Like, sometimes I think it looks really cool, and sometimes it doesn't work for me. So he's kind of leaping off of a rock. You know, kind of hair is all just kind of going to one side. He's got a lightsaber kind of pulled back. His left arm seems a little, I don't know. It's just always been, you almost have to look at it in person for it to make more sense. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this sculpt because to me, it kind of zigzags between being a C tier and an A tier sculpt, and I just don't know. I think the original Quinlan Voss is super great. The one from Clone Strike, awesome looking mini. I think that it sculpts way better than this one personally. So I'm gonna put this thing somewhere in C tier, and like if you like it, that's great. It doesn't work for me. It's just like the dimensions or like almost like the dimensions of the character seem a little off or a little goofy. It looks a little weird. I'm gonna put it up to high C tier because I think there's parts of it I do like. It's a very dynamic pose, but there's something about it that just seems off. I don't know if it's like limbs coming on the weird spot. I don't know. It just doesn't work. Stormtrooper, boring. This is these two guys. Sorry, Rebel Trooper, Stormtrooper. These are just kind of such lame poses for me. Lame poses. Somehow the Scout Trooper got a decent pose, but these guys didn't. C-3PO and R2-D2, not bad. Definitely recreates kind of how he like pats him on the head in the movie. A solid sculpt, just kind of a regular stand-up R2-D2, and then a C-3PO. I do like this. I'm going to put it in low A tier. I think it's really cool the way they captured both of them together in their interaction. So it's cool. Really cool looking. All right, I'm going to throw Chewbacca Enraged Wookiee in S tier. I think this thing looks crazy. He's got the shackles on. He looks enraged. They capture that very well. He's got the gun in one hand, has a Stormtrooper helmet in the other one. He's going to beat you up. I think this mini captures what they're going for super well. So I'm a big fan of the sculpt. Looks great. One of the best Chewbacca sculpts out there, probably. Rebel Commando Strike Leader. This is a solid B tier for me. I definitely like the pose. He's on one knee, issuing commands. Kind of has a gun out. Doesn't particularly wow me, but I don't dislike it either. So that's a solid B tier. Let's see here. This guy's going top of A tier. He might go to S tier. We'll see. Luke Skywalker, A Legacy of the Force. I think this guy looks awesome. Like, he's a nice cape. I like the way he's almost like floating or kind of like a jumping backwards with his it's almost like a weird force leap or something. I don't know. I've always thought that this sculpt looked epic, so I might throw this in the S tier. Actually, I'll do it. It's my last S tier anyway. I'm not going to put any more in S tier, but I think this thing looks great. I love this sculpt overall. I might bump it up just a teeny bit. I don't know. I'm not going to rank these guys up necessarily. They're all really nice looking sculpts to me. Big fan of this Luke Skywalker for sure. Okay, Rebel Pilot, a decent looking pose. Again, nothing too exciting. I might actually like this pose more than the original Rebel Pilot. I'm not sure, but it's fine. It's good detail. I'm gonna put him up to low B tier just because I do enjoy the detail on this particular character, even though it's not the craziest sculpt ever. Next one, we got the Rebel Leader. Looks okay. I mean, I don't know. I'll say to high C tier, sure. This is the actual officer. The other guy, or no, this is Piet. This is Piet, actually, I believe. Just kind of holding the belt buckle, pistol out wide on the other side. It's fine. I'll put it in a B tier as far as officers go. He's at least doing something somewhat interesting. Unfortunately for me, I've never been a big fan of this particular Rebel Commando. I like the other Rebel Commandos more, personally. It just seems like they kind of have more emotion to him. This guy's just kind of standing there. He seems kind of blocky to me, sort of. Just kind of gunned down. Just an uninteresting pose, personally. So I'm going to put this guy down C tier. Let's see. Next one we have, I think, a Death Star Trooper. It's weird. I think his shoulder seems like almost like it's a little contorted, where it's like it's almost too perfectly sideways, and then his head is exactly sideways. So a little bit of a uncanny pose. So it's not my favorite. I'm gonna probably put this one down there, low C tier, maybe even I'm gonna put it in D tier. I'm just not a fan of this one. The Imperial Engineer, or what is it? Death Star Technician, one of those guys. Jeez, I'm doing really bad on my names today. So you have to forgive me on that one. This guy, I actually rather like this pose. I think it's all right. He's kind of lunging to one side, kind of gun up. Really one of those like funky looking Death Star engineer helmets, which I kind of think are kind of fun. So I'll put him in mid B tier. I think that's pretty fun. So, okay, we got through our most recent tier of this video. I think I like how everything shook out. I might bump this Darth Vader up just a bit. Move this one up here. I think that's good enough for me. Something like that. Okay, this looks fine. So this is kind of how it shook out. My S tiers are Mara Jade, Storm Commando, Enraged Wookiee, Chewbacca, and then Luke Skywalker, Champion of the Force, and then Legacy of the Force, and then actually I think it is Champion of the Force, and then there's Jawa and Ronto. So this is my S tiers. They look really cool. Some pretty solid looking minis in here. Like I said before, for some strange reason, a lot of these figures in this particular set, they feel really blocky. I don't know what it is. And because of that, there's some good ones, but I don't maybe love this set quite as much when it comes to sculpts, to be honest with you. But like I said, some solid ones. Anyways, that's rather decently long tier list, about 25 minutes. Not too long. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And then watch out for some other ones I'll put out soon. I think I may do a couple. I think after this, it's going to be The Force Unleashed, I believe. Next up, and then as far as it comes to some of my other ones, I think I might do a couple Yusan Wong videos, which will be kind of fun to get out there. So anyways, have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and especially comment. Want to hear what your favorite sculpts are. It's been fun to see how your guys' sculpts are often completely different than mine, and I think that's the beauty of this game, is there's just so many different things that attract each one of us. So anyways, until next time, have a good one.